Before I go into that question, allow me, Mr. President, just to make it clear, no? Especially that eminent chair to the panel, Iqbal, is here, that I'm one of those who initially withdrew as co-author of the Bangsamoro Basic Law, well, because of the incident. But this does not make me an anti-Muslim. I just want to clear it, Mr. President, in the presence of Chairman Iqbal, who is here. In fact, Mr. President, there in Green Hills, we have proven that Muslims and Christians can coexist and, in fact, harmoniously work together. And I would say that one of the major contributors to the economic miracle that we experienced in San Juan when I was mayor was because of the Muslim and Christian traders in San Juan, in Green Hills. Well, in fact, I would say that we have helped a lot. I'm sure that Governor Hataman would attest that a lot of Muslim traders have really improved their lives, no, through the years, through our support and through our cooperation. Minsan nga nagkaroon, Mr. President, I know that you're aware of this, that they wanted to establish a mosque in the Green Hills area, which became controversial. In fact, one of the editors of a major daily vehemently opposed this, but I fought for this because that's how we value our Muslim brothers. Just to be clear, Mr. President. I'd just like to ask any from the AFP chain of command, General Katapang or whoever, the division commanders could answer this. Continuing, no, with the questioning a while ago, there was a serious situation already happening in the morning, and you were already aware and you were already advised as early as 6 a.m. The President was there in Zamboanga around 10 o'clock. Ang tanong ko lang ho, there was a serious situation kasi yung sabi niyo ho kanina, General Katapang, ang inyo pong concentration doon sa bombing, no, na 2 ang namatay, 3 po ang nasugatan. Dito po, that's why I call it serious. 4 o kung at that time siguro o 11 o 10 ang namamatay ng SAF commandos. Bakit hindi niyo sinabi kay Code 1, ang ating Commander-in-Chief, na dapat malaman niya dahil ito po ay serious situation?
Mr. President, Your Honor, at that time na nag-text po si Director Purisima o Director General Purisima, wala pa pong casualty report na natanggap. Ang sabi niya lang po kung pwedeng ma-assist sila. And then, mga bandang 3:00 ng hapon na po dumating yung mga information na malaki na po yung damage. At nung pumunta kami, nung nagmi-meeting na kami, after ng hapon, doon na po lumabas yung usapan na malaki na po yung damage. Kaya sa umaga po, hindi ko po minarapat na impormahan ng ating Presidente dahil alam ko ang pagpunta niya doon para ayusin ang problema po sa Zamboanga, Your Honor.
So, General, you mean to say that you only informed the Commander-in-Chief when the casualty already, the reports of that there was already a big casualty nung ongoing operation, hindi nyo pinarating. Considering that this is already I would say that I consider this a serious situation already.
Mr. President, Your Honor, I never informed the President. Bigla na lang po itong lumabas na usapan kasi nga po si Jel Guerrero nagre-report na po nung hapon na yon, and then doon na po, wala pong akong, hindi ko talaga po, sa totoo, hindi ko na-inform ang ating Pangulo.
Anyway, we'll take your word for that, but parang mahirap po kasi paniwalaan, Mr. President, na the Commander-Chief was left in the dark in a situation like this. Lumalabas ho na ang AFP ay halos 12 oras, no, bago nakatugon o nakasaklolo. You were informed around 6 a.m. at yung unang putok ng phosphorus, white phosphorus, happened at around 5:30. Hindi ho ba ang AFP, SOP, na meron ho kayong special reaction unit, rapid deployment force, especially in an area na masasabi nating trouble area, potential trouble area, di ho ba dapat naka-position o pre-position sila? At any time, kahit na meron tayong ongoing peace process, wag naman tayong magpapakampante. Kung meron nga, if kaya nga may SRU, meron rapid deployment, if something goes wrong, dapat sa isang tawag pa lang, naka-deploy ka agad. Ano po ang nangyari?
Mr. President, Your Honor, 7:15, nag-usap-usap na po yung mga PNP, AFP forces. 7:28, may courses of action na po na ginagawa. At ibibigay ko po, with your permission, si General Pangilinan kung ano na po yung mga succeeding actions na ginawa.
Sige po, General Pangilinan. I understand, no? Ayoko pa ulit-ulit. Narinig ko na rin yan. Kaya lang sinasabi nyo kasi, it takes time, yung coordination, wala. It takes time to prepare, alamin yung mga grades, pero pinadala na yung grade coordinates. Halimbawa lang, hypothetical to, halimbawa may external tayong kalaban. Halimbawa, ang Malaysia. 12 hours, baka nakarating na sa Maynila bago tayo nakareact. Please.
Mr. President, Your Honors.
Yes, General Pangilinan.
Magandang umaga po. Wala pong katotohanan na kami ay late nag-react. In fact, nung malaman po namin ng information and was even advised by my immediate commander to provide support, ang aking pong mga ground commander immediately. Una po ay sinecure nila yung tinatawag nating MSR. Means, yun po ang ating mga kalsada na kung saan ay dumadaan po ang ating mga commuters at the same time, yun din po yung daan patungo doon sa area of incident. At kanina po, nabanggit na yun daw pong commander o deputy commander ng SAF ay nagpunta doon sa headquarters ng brigade by 7:15. Gusto ko lang po i-correct. He did not go there nang walang dahilan. He was asked. He was asked by the brigade commander to come to the brigade for him to provide briefing on the conduct of their operation. So yun po ay nangyari at after ng briefing, that's the time that the brigade commander on the ground at least ay nagkaroon siya ng initial information on what was going on. And from there, siya po ay nag-task organize ng puwersa at nagplano kung paano po ipoprovide ang reinforcement. And by 09:20 or 9:20 in the morning, ang ating pong sundalo ay nando na po sa incident area at nag-provide na po ng reinforcement. Nabanggit nyo na rin po.
Anong oras ho ito ulit, General Pangilinan?
09:30 po, 09:20 po.
9:30. Opo.
09:20 or 9:20 in the morning, nando na po ang ating sundalo, nag-provide na po ng reinforcement. Now, nabanggit nyo po yung artillery. Sa pagpapaputok po o paggamit ng ating artillery, there are 3.
Alam ko na ho yun. General, ayoko na hong ulitin nyo, no? Sayang po ang oras. Siyempre, meron kayong sinusunod, no, na doktrina para masiguro na wala tayong civilian. Alam na po natin yon. Pero gusto ko lang siguro, sorry to cut you short, General Lapeñas, if you may, when was the last communication that you had with your last surviving SAF commando, yung sa 55th?
That was about 1:30 to 2 in the afternoon, Your Honor, when the radio is no longer responding, the radio of the ground troops.
So sa palagay nyo ba kung halimbawa lang, naaga-aga ng konti ang artillery support, may pag-asa bang mabuhay ang ilan sa kanila? Yan ang kasi parang gano'n ang ini-imply nyo no? Na medyo yung hinanakit nyo ay medyo napatagal. General, Lapeñas? Kayo po.
I can only compare what happened in the afternoon, Your Honor. Because in the afternoon, when we requested for the artillery fire about 5:30, and it was given about 5:48 in the afternoon, the commander of the operating troops reported to me directly that when the white phosphorus, 3 white phosphorus landed, in about few minutes or 30 minutes, all the firing stopped in their location, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President, General Katapang, again, I'd like to ask you, no? It seems like the standing truce, no? I think it strengthened the MLF. No? Sa nakikita natin, mukhang tuwing merong peace agreement, meron tayong ceasefire, mukhang patuloy naman sila nagpapalakas. And it did not weaken, but I think it softened the military. Well, baka masyado tayo nagiging kumpiyansa that we do not have an internal problem right now. It seems that we have concentrated on external defense. No? In the recent years, Mr. President, the AFP purchased 2 frigates, a number of helicopters for our external defense for the West Philippine Sea and the conflict with China. Ang katanungan ko lang ay General Katapang, how do you assess the strength of the MLF at this time? No, siguro naman, meron kay intelligence. Considering that there's a standing truce that is in effect right now. So, meron ba kayong assessment ng kanilang strength? Mula nung nagkaroon tayo nung pinag-uusapan natin ng BBL, we have a standing truce, Mr. President. I just want to know if the MILF continued its recruitment, kung patuloy sila nagpalakas, or kung talagang seryoso sila sa ating peace agreement, dahan-dahan sana, nag-scale down na sila ng kanilang pupuwersa. General Katapang?
Mr. President, Your Honor, as of now, the MILF forces are about more than 7,000. And we assure you that the armed forces is ready in any eventuality. But we hope that this will not happen. Yung sa modernization naman po, yung army po natin, marami po tayong armor assets, may mga aeroplano rin tayong mabibili and attack helicopters that can be used if need be. And hopefully not, if the situation warrants, Your Honor.
Thank you, General Katapang. Tanungin ko na lang, perhaps General Guerrero or Pangilinan can answer. Doon sa Westcom, Western Mindanao, Mr. President, that's a potential conflict area. Wala po ba talaga tayong, nung nabanggit nyo, wala tayong air assets? Don't we have any air assets? Nasaan yung mga MD-500 attack helicopters natin? O yung mga Bronco bombers? Nasaan po sila naka-deploy? Considering that in Mindanao, ito yung pinaka-mainit na area.
Mr. President, Your Honor, we indeed have air assets. That is under the air component we call 3rd Air Division. The 3rd Air Division covers the entire Mindanao, but we are using the assets being deployed in my area for support to my operating troops in Basilan, in Sulu, in the Zamboanga Peninsula for the 1st Infantry Division, and the 6th Infantry Division for Central Mindanao, Your Honor.
Just a word of caution. You know, these are, from where I sit, issues where our assets are located, etc. I'm not very comfortable that this can be revealed publicly, but it has already been revealed. So I would caution our armed forces, our resource persons, to use your discretion, because this committee is very responsible. If you invoke that this involves national security, say so, and we will sustain your position that we should not reveal this. And I'm sure the senator asking the question would understand. But the way it has been happening, you're so free to answer the questions, and sometimes my attention has been called. But I would like to think that we ask the questions, we did not know what the answers are, and it should be the resource persons who should tell us if they feel that this involves a national security. Just a word of caution, General.
I submit, Mr. President, and we would understand. And we will have an executive session,
yes, sir,
in case there are matters of security. So just say so, and we would understand. Thank you. Secretary Deles, just like to ask, since, of course, I can understand your passion on defending the Bangsamoro Basic Law. Of course, we all want peace. On which road we would want to take, which direction, probably we differ. But ang tanong ko lang ho sa inyo ay there's a number of violations that have been committed already. Since we are a standing peace agreement. Unang-una ho, Secretary Deles, tanong ko lang sa inyo, ang pagkupkup ba ng mga terorista, gaya nila Marwan at Usman, ng MILF, ay hindi ba violation ito ng ating pong guidelines?
Yes, Your Honor. Yung pagkukup ng any terrorist or criminal element, at lalo na pag pinasabihan na sila na talagang may criminal na interesado ang gobyerno, that is a violation, Your Honor.
Maraming salamat. Pangalawa, ang patuloy na pagpapalakas ng hanay o puwersa ng MILF, gayong meron tayong peace agreement, konti na lang, uusad na lang, konti na lang, pipirmahan na natin ang Bangsamoro Moro Basic Law, ngunit ang kanilang pagpaparami ng armas at pagpapalakas, hindi ho ba ito, violation ba ito o hindi ng peace agreement?
Your Honor, it is no. I would like to ask the CCCH to more properly interpret that particular aspect of the ceasefire agreement, Your Honor.
Magandang hapon po, Your Honor. Sir, pertaining po sa consistent na training na report, we are validating it, and then just in case that the unit that have seen that training has already been conducted, they will write a protest to us, and then they will convey to the counterpart that there is an ongoing training, and most of the time the training that we saw is more on the political building mechanism in preparation for the normalization, sir.
Thank you, General Alvarez. Just for your information, I had the chance, Mr. President, to be, I had the chance to talk to one of the survivors, SAF survivors, no? And they said that the amount of gunfire, ito po yung description la, overwhelming, that they received. So, ibig sabihin, yung dami ng bala at yung sophisticated weapons na gamit po ng MILF ay talagang overwhelming. And that there have been reports, Mr. President, I hope that you would look into this, General Alvarez, that they already have a arms manufacturing in inside the MILF controlled areas. No, so kung sakasakali, Mr. President, mukhang ang panig ng pamalaan ay ginagampanan yung ating pong panig para matuloy ang peace process. Mukhang yung kabilang side ay mukhang questionable. Thank you, Gerald. A few more points, Mr. President. Just like to take advantage of the presence of...
I hope we can wind up.
Of course, just 2 points, Mr. President, of MILF Chair of the Peace Panel, Iqbal. Chairman Iqbal, what do you mean that not unless the BBL is passed, the MILF remains to be a revolutionary organization?
It simply means that the problem we describe as Bangsamoro problem or Bangsamoro question is not finished. So we need to assert efforts so that it would be finally addressed. That's the meaning of the MILF becoming a social movement if the basic law would be passed by Congress, because the Bangsamoro Basic Law addresses the legitimate grievances of our people. But if it is not passed, then it's natural for us really to push forward our assertion so that it would be finally addressed.
So para ang sinasabi niyo sa amin, Chairman Iqbal, as legislators, na ang BBL, tama kayo, yun ang tingin yung daan para magkaroon ng tunay na kapayapaan. At kung hindi ito pumasa, tuloy-tuloy magkakagulo at hindi tayo magkakaroon ng kapayapaan. And in fact, Chairman Iqbal, ito pong nasa pahayagan, mukhang show of force na naman ito eh. Sana hindi naman kami hino-hostage bilang mga mambabatas na parang sinasabi niyong wala kayong choice kundi ipasaya kung hindi gera. With the Standing Truce Agreement, peace agreement, Chairman Iqbal, did the MLF continue to recruit, build up arms, and strengthen its ranks?
Sagutin ko muna yung unang tanong na pag hindi na ipasa, ibig sabihin patuloy. Siguro, sa ngayon, nakikita naman natin na ang pinaplano ngayon at ginagawa dahil sa Bangsamoro Basic Law ay hopefully may pasa sa Kongreso ng Pilipinas, hindi na magkakaroon po ng armas ang MILF na mga bagong armas o di kaya pagpatuloy yung paggawa ng armas. Noon po, aminin po namin dahil sinasabi namin na talagang nagpo-produce kami ng armas. Pero ngayon, dahil ang pinag-usapan nito kapayapaan at pinag-uusapan din dito yung decommissioning, siguro palagi ko wala nang saysay yung pag-uusap ng nadagdag ba ng armas yung MILF, nagda-training kasi decommissioning na po ang inaatupag ngayon ng MILF pati sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas yung po ang pinag-uusapan namin. Although decommissioning will not take place alone. It has to be linked with other processes in the normalization program for the Bangsamoro.
Chairman Iqbal, what is the extent of the control of the MLF leaders over their followers? Considering that you are a big organization, 7,000 ang armado sa inyo. Pwede bang umatake ang inyong mga miyembro nang walang order ang inyo pong mga pinuno?
Well, there is no absolute control in the same way that even government does not have absolute control over its forces. But the fact that since 2011, there has been no fighting between government forces and MILF would show that the MILF has that command control. Unfortunate lang dahil nangyari yung January 25 nung magkaroon ng sagupaan ng PNP SAF at saka MILF forces sa mga Masapano po.
Chairman Iqbal, were the leaders of the MLF, were they informed of the encounter with the SAF forces in the early mornings of January 25?
Personally, I was informed at around 11 o'clock while we were having a meeting at Darapanan. But, in that particular area, parang ordinary po yung barilan dyan kasi minsan meron rido, meron clan war. So nagkakaroon po ng putukan dyan until finally siguro, while we are still meeting, about 2 o'clock, yun doon namin narinig, doon namin nalaman na talagang medyo matindi yung barilan doon sa Mama Sapano.
Ano po naging order ng MILF leadership tupo sa baba?
Immediately on my part, I called Rashid Ladyasan. I inquired from him what really happened in Mama Sapano. And then during that time, I was with the highest military officer of the MILF, Sami Gambar. And then we conferred notes. And then immediately Sami Gambar notified or made an order to the commanders in the area to find ways to cease the fighting.
So, Chairman Iqbal, would you deny that the MILF is using the ceasefire to fortify or strengthen its forces? So, hindi nyo ginagamit na ceasefire para mas lalong magpalakas?
Siguro, hindi ko gagamitin yung sinasabing na deny. Kasi when you use the word deny, that is a negative affirmation. Ang importante po rito, kami tapat sa lahat ng pinirmahan namin at we are very consistent that whatever engagement with the Philippine government is covered by mechanism.
Thank you, Chairman Iqbal. Mr. President, thank you for your indulgence. I am ending my questions, but I just like to make a manifestation, just like to commend General Espina for standing up, for fighting for your troops, and seeking justice for your men. I just like to let you know, General Espina, na hindi ka nag-iisa. Gaya ng buong sambayanan, Mr. President, tayo ay naghihintay din ng mga kasagutan. Thank you very much, Mr. President.